Hello folks, I'm Aslin Blow from AZ Entertainment, and here we are once again Down Under with fun, fabulous food down under with Conjurup, and specifically AJ, who's already in her kitchen bubbling away. So as you can see, it's AJ and I just getting it on together tonight. So we'll go straight to Australia and say hello to AJ. Hi, AJ.
Hi, Aslin. How are you?
Very good, very good, very good. This is cozy.
It's nice, isn't it? Just the two of us. Now, look, I was just, as we were talking about, Australia has got so much influence from other countries. I thought I'd do something today that was a little bit of an Italian influence. That is a little bit of a cheap way too.
That sounds fabulous. But just for our audience, every now and then, don't forget to look to your left, which is where you've placed your camera today, haven't you?
My camera. Yep.
I did that. I remember doing that too when I changed camera places. Right. So tell us about the dish. I'm so excited.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what is essentially a ravioli, but I'm going to cheat with the pasta. And the reason I'm going to cheat with the pasta is because, as you would know if you've seen me before, if I can get a shortcut that works, that's exactly what I'll be doing. So, and you probably all know this, but I thought it was kind of clever. Wonton wrappers.
Wonton wrappers?
Wonton.
When you moved there,
wonton wrappers.
Cool.
Now, so essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do you a ravioli, and I'm going to show you when you serve it up. It looks absolutely like ravioli, and I served it to a friend of mine who's a foodie, and she said, "Wow, that's amazing." So we should get on with it. So the reason that I chose Italian is because Italians have been in Australia since the first boat arrived. And that was in 1770, and even before that, everyone forgets about Magellan having a look at Australia and then going straight past. There was an Italian on that boat too. So, Australian cuisine is influenced by every other country in the world, because if we were going with cuisine as we know it, as in Australian cuisine, we'd be eating Indigenous food. And there's a very big push for that at the moment, and it's great. But in the city, it isn't as easy to put your hands on the things. So we're going to go with Italian. Now, I put up the recipe, which I thought might help you a little bit. But the main thing is that you need some prawns. Now, some people get a bit fussy about prawns, and if I can get lovely fresh ones, I'll take them. These, in fact, are just frozen prawn meat, and they taste amazing. They're fine, just brown. And what I've done is I've just put a bit of lemon zest and some basil in there. Okay. Now, I think I mentioned that you should chiffonade the basil, and Aslan would know this, but a lot of people don't. What chiffonade is, it just means really finely sliced. So you place all your leaves like this on top of each other, and then you roll them like this, and then...
Okay, hang on, stop. AJ, stop. Hold that whole roll and put it over where your fruit is, because that's where we've got really good light, and so everyone can see what you're doing.
Well, that's
just
kind of
lift the chiffonade up, that's it. Lift the roll up and put it over the white, tiny white bowls. Just hold it up.
Yeah, so basically...
Cool.
So what I've done is I've got the leaves and I've laid them all like that, and then you roll them up like this. And then it's so easy, you just take your knife and you finely slice like this, and you end up with beautiful, 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 beautiful finely sliced basil. See? That's fabulous. Really fine. And it's just, look, again, it's a trick to make everything happen quickly for you. So we'll need some of that later for the sauce. I've said use about 1/4 of a cup of basil leaves, but just use as many as you want. Basil's quite a strong flavour, so see how you go. So let's get back to the dish. Okay, so we're going to have prawns, and we're going to make some ravioli. Now this is really simple and really easy. So just put in some zest, which is this part. All you do is take that off the lime like that, and also reserve some for later. Do the whole lemon, or the whole lime rather, because you'll need some for zhuzhing up the dish later. Now, I'm also going to put a good pinch of salt and a good pinch of pepper into the prawns and just give that a bit of a mix around. Now, you literally need to use just one prawn per wrapper. So it's quite an economical dish as well. I would say normally I would make 3 and I would do it as an entree. But if you were going to do it as a main course, I think what you would do is you would do it with 5, and that would be plenty because it's quite a rich dish. Okay? So, you literally, can you see me doing this? It's like making sandwiches, really.
Oh, it reminds me of those squares of processed cheese.
Yeah. Tastes a lot better than that, though.
I bet. I'm just going to bring up a comment. From Spain, okay? We've got Carmen Mandich saying hello from Spain, and she says, yes, love wonton wrappers. Great start.
Hi, Carmen. Thank you for watching. So you literally just put your prawn, it's really simple, 1 prawn per wrapper, then take another wrapper and put it over the top. Now you might have noticed that I wet the wrapper all around, and then you literally press down around the prawn. You want, if you can, you want it so that you haven't got any air around the prawn. Can you see that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. All right. So that's what we do there. And then I said to you, you needed a cookie cutter. Now I've chosen this one. I think it's about 2.5 inches, and it's got a wavy thing. And the clever thing about that is when you cut out the wonton wrapper, suddenly you look like you've been to an Italian pastry shop and you have actually bought the pasta already made.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I did forget, hang on.
Oh, look, she's doing one of my tricks. I forgot to make it. I'll be back.
A fork. And just to make it even better, if you do this around the edge, I swear to you, you serve this up and people think you've been slaving all day. And that's my knack. I'm lazy in the kitchen. So there we go. Look at that. A beautiful piece of pasta, really.
Yeah, definitely. No, you're absolutely right. It looks professional, doesn't it? Well, not that I'm saying you're not professional, of course.
Oh, look, Aslan, you can say whatever you like to me.
Having got your own food brand and all.
I have got my own food brand, and at some stage we'll get into that, but I just love cooking. So the key for me is to bring you guys dishes that make your life easy, but also the key thing with my food is that it is easy to look like a gourmet cook. It's easy being a gourmet cook. You just need a few tricks. So I'm just going to repeat that.
Because your presentation is very good as well, and that goes a long way, doesn't it, to how gourmet the recipe comes across. The presentation does make a difference as well.
Well, you're absolutely right, and for me, the most extraordinary thing is that I think a lot of chefs make cooking look incredibly difficult and incredibly complex.
Absolutely.
And it just isn't. It just isn't. Just make sure that when you're putting the prawn in, you've got a little bit of the zest and a little bit of the basil so that you get those flavors coming through.
Okay, and you're using lime or lemon? Because I think you said lime, but they look quite light in color there.
Okay, here's my other trick. If you are buying limes, buy the yellow ones. They're juicier, they're riper, they might look like lemons, but the juice out of them is amazing.
We probably don't have the option, I guess, unless we're at a farmer's market. But those limes are pretty big, though. We tend, here in the UK, we tend to get your standard Persian limes.
Oh, like the kaffir limes?
No, kaffir limes are completely different. Persian limes are like your key lime, bartender lime, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I guess we just do everything big in Australia, not as big as America, but I think it's to do with the weather, and I think it's to, you know, make it. It just makes it. But these limes, I always go for the yellow one. So if ever I say I'm cooking with lime, I am cooking with lime, but I will go.
Can you hear me still? Can I look? She's perfecting the Aslin move. Get out of the camera while I get something.
Just when you've got a green one, so you know that I do actually have green one.
Right. So is there a difference in flavor? Because I tell you why. The limes I get here, and they don't survive too long, you know. And then the juice actually gets well. Only thing I can say is it doesn't taste fresh.
Well, I think they may have been frozen. Aslan, is that a possibility?
Never thought of limes freezing, but yeah, that's an interesting point. We've got. Let me just say hello. We've said hello to Carmen, of course, and Michelle Price. Hi. I don't know if you can watch us.
Hi, Michelle.
She's having connection problems, and Ehsan Wadud, who I believe is in Pakistan. Wow, pretty late for you.
I reckon.
Yeah. Hi, Ehsan. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you very much, because I know it's early for me in Australia, but it's actually quite a nice time of the day. The other thing I was going to say to you guys is when you're serving something, as I was saying that my presentation's good, there's a little trick that I'll tell you, and you probably know this. I'm sure I tell you tricks and you actually know them all. But when you're serving something, never, ever, ever serve an even number. Always serve an odd number. So serve 3, serve 5, serve 7. Never 4, 6, or 2.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, it just doesn't look as great on the plate, hasn't it? And I don't know why that is, but it just is what it is. Really?
You know, pre-show, when you were moving that yellow packet of wonton wrappers, I thought they were handy wipes.
Yeah, well, you know, that's me, handy white girl. Look, I just, for me, it's a matter of getting, it's smoke and mirrors, really. Get the best effect and the best taste and do it as easily as you can. So again, you always must put plenty of water around the wonton wrapper because that's what sticks it together.
Okay, so for those of you who've just joined us, AJ is making prawn ravioli with broth and some pomegranate. Maybe that was a secret. I shan't say. Anyway, she's stuffing the ravioli now, but the ravioli is AJ style because she's using wonton wrappers. So she's stuffing it with 1 prawn in each ravioli with some grated lime and some basil leaves. And that's where we're at now.
Salt and pepper. So, you know, that's where we are. Now, I've got 5 of these. And I've had the water boiling because I knew that you wouldn't want to be waiting for me to boil the water. So basically, these will take literally a couple of minutes and no longer. So you just gently put them in the water. And the other trick is that you'll know when they're cooked, because the joy of wonton wrappers is that they're so beautifully fine that you can actually see through them, and you'll see that the prawn has gone a little bit pink, so you know that it's cooked.
Okay, so while we're waiting for that, you know, a minute or so, how did you get to the wonton wrapper? You know,
I'll say it again.
When did you have this epiphany?
I am one lazy girl. I looked at the contents of wontons, and wontons basically are wheat-based. Pasta is wheat-based. I know that I'm going to cook this sauce in front of you so that you can see that it's really easy to do. Forgot the butter. I am doing an Aslan today.
Oh my God! Yeah, she's like perfecting the move. Get out of the camera and go get something.
Here we are. Okay, so basically you need about 20 grams of butter, so not a lot.
Right, I'm just going to bring up another comment.
Okay, butter,
from your neck of the woods, AJ. Jeffrey.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I thought all this while I thought you were in Australia. Good morning from cool New Zealand, and hi to AJ, food magician.
Who's that? Who's that lovely person?
That's the lovely Jeffrey, who once called me a clever cookie.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah. Yes, I did have 2 words with him about calling me a cookie, though. But yeah.
Okay. So
then, though.
As would always be the way, this isn't going to work this morning, so I'm going to cook on the stove.
Okay.
Thank God I'm here. Thank God I'm near the stove. So put in your butter. Now, the other thing that you guys mightn't know is if you put a bit of olive oil with the butter, it stops it burning, and it also gives you a lovely rich sauce.
That's quite a lot of butter. That's quite a lot of butter there. For how many raviolis? 5?
Oh no, that'd be for when you were. I've actually used too much butter. You're quite right. It should be about 20 grams, but this would do a whole lot of ravioli. I'm just making the sauce because I can make more ravioli later. So you put in your olive oil, you put in your butter. The exact measurements are on the recipe. Use those, and that'll do a good whack. But you can increase the sauce. There's no problem there at all. Get the lime. You need to be putting lime juice in this. I've said 2 limes, but just look at how much sauce you get. And Aslan's favourite.
Oh, I really need to get me one of those. I can't believe I haven't got one.
I can't believe you haven't got one either. I can't believe you can't buy them over there.
I'm sure you can. I just haven't looked at the right places.
Okay, so I'm just using 1 lime because if you have a look here, you'll see that I've actually got quite a lot of juice there.
Yeah.
So you need a good whack of juice, but you don't want to have too much, okay? Now, the wontons are pretty well ready.
The juice went in with the fat.
Yep.
Okay.
That'll just emulsify, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble this morning with my stove. Well, not with my stove, with me really, so I'm just going to move over there, that's fine. So, okay, so I'm bringing that up. Now, the other thing that I recommend that you put in this is you're going to need some basil.
Yeah.
Because it is basil and lime after all. You're also going to need some pomegranate seeds.
Okay.
Now, this is a pomegranate. I used about half for the seeds, but you could use as much or as little as you want. I've used about half because I just think that's a nice amount.
In the fat.
The other thing that you need is a bit of garlic.
Okay.
You don't need a mass of garlic, but you do need just a little hint of it. I tell you, Aslan, I was sure that I was incredibly organised. I was. So I'm going to give that a little squash. This is lovely little fresh garlic out of the garden.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's got. I'm not using that much because it's really quite intense. And I've given that a little squash, and I'll just give it a little bit of a thing and whack that in, and that'll be fine. The thing with cooking, and what I always say to people is, don't be stressing about it. Taste it as you go along. You'll get an idea of what it's like. Okay, that's reducing quite nicely. Now, you need to get that balance of sweet, sour, etc. This I've used before in the show. It's a pomegranate syrup.
Oh,
if you can't put a blend on it, don't be worried about that. Just throw in a little bit of palm sugar or brown sugar.
Okay.
But if you can, that's done, that sauce. You see that?
Yes.
You can see there that it's quite syrupy.
Yep.
That's done. So I'm going to plate up. And does anybody have any questions, by the way?
They're all saying they're enjoying the show.
So with your
it's such a straightforward recipe.
That's the way that I work, Aslan. Cooking must be fun. Cooking must not be stressful. Cooking must be something that is an absolute pleasure.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, if cooking stresses you out, you're not doing it right.
No, you know, it's quite funny because I hear that.
You've got 3 there, and that works quite nicely.
Okay, that's a great presentation.
Okay, now I've got. Oh, I might just use the 3 because I like the look of it. I think it looks really good. And the Aslan Law School of Cooking. I swear, I made a list of everything that I needed.
I think you far surpassed me with that part.
That's all right, thank you. And I've made buckets of sauce, but that's okay.
That's fabulous. That looks great already. I mean, you know, I don't do pomegranate very often, but I think I need to
And just get some zest. And put that around the plate because it really does look incredibly pretty. And just get a little bit of that lovely chiffonade and put that around. Now, if you have a look at that, I'll hold it up so you can get a good one, Aslan.
Yeah.
Now.
Camera's over here, madam.
Oh, sorry, darling. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think the one probably that I took before is a better shot.
And this is good. This is good because we can see you holding it up. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
well, why not? One for the road. Here we go.
So, it's really easy. It's really delicious. And I'm just going to show you now. Like, I've got buckets of sauce left over. So I've just made a whole batch of sauce. But I'll just use that, you know.
Any thoughts about how long that sauce might keep?
Oh, look, I'd use it probably in 24 hours. It won't go off, but you'd have to reheat it, and it's got the butter and the oil and things. So I think, now I'll just break open one of these so that you can have a look at what I mean. When you have a look in here, you can see through, I don't know whether you can see, but if you look through the wonton wrapper, you can see that the prawn is pink.
Yeah.
And that tells you that it's cooked.
Okay.
It's that simple.
That's a nice breakfast, isn't it?
I think it's a fine breakfast. I think we're all I actually think we're all too locked into what we must have at breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Oh, yeah,
myself.
I only have fruit at breakfast, so don't look at me.
But that's why you're so beautifully slim. I eat whatever I feel like at breakfast. Now, I was going to tell you also that with everybody is welcome to tell me what they would like to eat or what they'd like me to cook, what sort of food, because we've basically got every nationality in the world here. And
actually, you know,
sorry?
I have a request, I suppose, but
yes.
I don't know how easy it is because to get, you know, the ingredients and things, an Aboriginal recipe.
Yes, well, interesting that you bring that up. That may not be for a little while, but I am actually going up on the North Coast in December.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to meet with a very good Indigenous cook.
Okay.
And at that time, I will certainly do that.
Okay. Okay. That'll be really good. That'll be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so what's the taste? If you can describe the flavor profile, AJ, because it's got sweet as well there, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite complex. Obviously, prawns, if you get the right ones, have a certain sweetness to them, but there's a saltiness because you've got the salt and the pepper. And again, I'll say to you, when you get salt, get really good sea salt, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get cheap salt. It tastes cheap, and I don't think it does anything for your food. So you've got the salt, you've got the pepper. the basil gives a herbiness. This lime gives a really zesty tartness to the dish. And then you've got the pomegranate, which is somewhere in between, because the pomegranate is a sweet fruit with a bit of a poppy flavour. And then you've also got the pomegranate syrup. And if you wanted to make your own pomegranate syrup, you can. I've done it myself before I realised you could buy it. And as I said before, I'm lazy, so now I buy it. But if you wanted to, just get your pomegranates, take all the seeds out, put them into a saucepan, put a little bit of squeeze of lime, put a little bit of salt, just the tiniest bit, or don't bother, a teaspoon of sugar, a little bit of water, mix it up and reduce it, then put it through a colander and you'll get your syrup. But that sounds like an awfully, it's a lot of work when you can buy it, and it's really good.
Can I I've got a question. Actually, before my question, I'll just bring up, let's say hello to Sheila Hensley. She says, I so love watching Conjurup and Jane create. Looks delicious.
Yay!
I agree. She makes it look so easy. I've got a question because yes. My tendency would be to use lemon juice, but that's like the third time with the pomegranate juice syrup that you've mentioned, lime. Have you got a bias towards lime juice compared to lemon then, AJ?
I think it's just, no, because I have a lemon tree. I have bowls of lemons over here. Okay. But I just think if lemons suit where you are, better use lemon. But I just think lime has a much more complex flavour. For me, I prefer limes. But that's me, you know. But if I didn't have limes, and limes here, let me tell you, are $20 a kilo at the moment.
Wow.
So perhaps I should have used lemon. You could equally use lemon, but I think you'd probably need to use a little bit more sweetness because the lime, although it's very tart, has an innate, it's just got it's a sweeter flavour than the lemon.
But you're a big fan of Southeast Asian food, so I can see why, with a love for lemon and you know, because Southeast Asian food would use a lot of lime in its cooking.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of food, period. So, you know, there are recipes in which I will use lemon. I'll use them when I'm doing tagines. I'll use them when I want to get rid of them. I make this amazing, and I haven't decided whether I'll make it for you.
Oh.
Yeah, because I may make it into one of my products. But these amazing spiced lemons. And once you've made them, they're terrific with grilled meat. They're great in tagines.
Made what, AJ? Sorry?
Spiced lemons.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're a wonderful thing to have with grills or anything like that. So, love lemons, love limes, but I definitely like that citrus in cooking very much.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. Well, thank you, AJ. That looks
great. I had a ball.
I'm sure everyone agrees that it looks superb. I especially love the use of the wonton wrappers in the ravioli.
Well, it's just the cheap's way of making easy pasta.
I'll have to tell them that, actually. Oh, kids, take a break. Don't need to make fresh pasta. Wonton wrappers will go. We've got.
Well, I think if you can make it easy, you should.
Yes, there is that. We've got another comment from Cook with Sally. Okay, she's got a request actually, so I'll bring that up. There you go. I would love you to do a barbecue next time if you can. It was nice watching you. Thank you, she says. So.
Oh yeah, we can do barbecue.
Yeah, no. For that, you'll have to go to Bondi Beach.
Well, I mean, I could go to Bondi Beach. And the other thing I was going to say too about the Italian influence, before the Italians came to Australia, and there was an enormous influx of Italians after World War II, we didn't have things like beautiful homemade tomato sauces. We didn't. Our palate was not like that. We didn't have the salamis. We didn't have all of the things that we have now. And so our cooking culture would have been absolutely devoid of taste if it hadn't been for all of the immigrants who came to Australia. Because we would have just been eating British food, which is terrific, day in, day out, because it was meat and two veg, meat and two veg. And I know that, for instance, when I was about 15, my best friend at boarding school, her dad was Italian, and he took me to this restaurant called Punchinella, and it was the moment when my eyes lit up about food, because he said, try this. And what he did was he introduced me to squid in pasta, which in those days didn't come in the tube. It had to be made, so he had to order it a day ahead. So I had this, and I had vongole and all this amazing food. And so I love Italian food. I love all of the cultures that we've got here because it just makes our food so interesting.
Yeah,
definitely. Very, very lucky. Really lucky.
I think so. I think so. Being, lucky enough to have a cosmopolitan society is always a good thing. Always a good thing. Not, and the food is always the bonus as well, as far as that is concerned. Thank you, Anna Jane. Everybody says thank you. Carmen says thank you for a great new dish. Let
me know how you go with it too. Send me your photos.
Yes, I'll post them on the event stream. Let me just say thank you to everyone who's watched. Carmen, Sally, Sheila, Michelle, Jeffrey, Ehsan, Victor. Thank you all, and I'm sorry if I've forgotten anybody, if I've missed out anybody. Thank you all. Thanks so much for watching. Now, here's a new promise I make. For every new recipe that gets cooked on an AZ Entertainment show, I am going to replicate it, lab it, as we say in the Foodies Plus community. So there you go. And if I don't do it, call me out on it, okay?
I'm going to start doing really complex dishes.
I can do complex, man. So, right, now one quick note before I leave you all. Tomorrow, Monday, 5 p.m. GMT, 12 noon EST, there is a special food marketing HOA that I am doing with Michelle Reibel, who's not here because he's in Paris. We will be at CIAL, the world's biggest food exhibition in Paris. So join us tomorrow. The event is on the AZ Entertainment page as well if you need more information. If you want an invite, please get in touch with me and I'll send you an invite, because I'm not sending many invites to the show.
What time of the morning is that for me?
3 o'clock in the morning, dear.
I'll see you then.
Right. Well, why not? All right. I'm going to say goodbye, and I will let AJ take us out of the show. Take us out, AJ.
Thank you all for watching. It was really good fun. And don't forget to tell me if there's something that you want to see. We want barbecue, we want this, we want that. Let me know. Happy to cook it. But just remember, it'll be really simple and it'll taste good. So I'll see you on the 3rd Sunday of next month. I don't know what date that is yet, but 3rd Sunday of next month. And we'll cook up a storm. We'll cook up something really good. So thanks for watching. Bye.